Friends, welcome to Bedi Astrology. I hope you all are doing good. So today we're going to talk about Shatabisha Nakshatra. Let me share my screen. So Shatabisha Nakshatra. Why Shatabisha? Even though I have already made a video on this a couple of years back, but forgot to discuss very important points at that time. So thought of discussing that today with you all. So Shatabisha, also known as Shatataraka, the 100 healers, the healing star. But what kind of healing comes in Shatabisha? We're going to discuss more of that in the further slides. So one of the symbols associated with this nakshatra is empty circle. And again, symbology, the symbols are very important in order to decipher any Shakti or any nakshatra. So empty circle, it can have various meanings. It can mean a circle of life and death, a circle of time, the kala, the boundaries in which we all live in, because we all have the boundaries around us, or the bubble in which we live in, because we all have our own bubble. So it can have various meanings. It can also mean the 100 healers beneath us, or the 100 physicians inside us, or the 100 demons who lies beneath us. So again, it can have various meanings. So the Lord for this nakshatra is Lord Rahu, and he's the one who can break any boundaries in order to expand our thinking or the consciousness. We're going to talk more on that in the further slides. The element is ether, the Akash Tattva. Completely falls in the Aquarius, the Kumbha Rashi, and the higher divinity for this sign is Lord Shiva, again, who gives us the higher consciousness. The deity is the Varuna, the one who maintains, one of the solar deities, the one who maintains the natural, the moral order in the nature, and also known as the Mahabhisaja, the great physician of all. And it was quite interesting to note Shatabisha comes just after Dhanishta Nakshatra, and I recently wrote an article on harmony, which I associated with Dhanishta. So whenever the harmony is disturbed, the natural order gets broken, right? And that's where we have to face Lord Varuna with the Pasha, with his Pasha. So the animal symbol is female horse, the male is with Ashwani, and the female is with the Shatabisha. The Shakti is again the Bisaja Shakti, the power to cure anyone, the power to heal anyone. And sometimes you will find these natives themselves are having hundreds of troubles, and they don't find the healing for themselves. So which is a prominent theme. So what it means to be born in Shatabisha in one line for me is to meet your subconscious self. And again, how it can be achieved, because how we can raise our consciousness. First of all, we have to understand the healing. What kind of healing is happening in Shatabisha, and what is healing? I ask you all, what is healing? Because for my understanding of healing can be different from your understanding of healing. For example, the way the mother heals his or her child is totally different from the way the doctor treats his patient or heals his patient, or a psychologist or a psychiatrist heals their patient, as compared to a shaman who heals the needy souls. So again, it all depends from person to person, right? But from all, the common aspect of healing is raising our higher consciousness in order to know ourselves better, right? In order to know the unknown within us, or in order to know the healer who's lying beneath us, the Varuna, who is there within us. But are we ready to take his help? Are we ready to take what he has to offer? That is the main question for all of us. So, and this, how we raise our consciousness, we all have our conflicts, right? We all have certain troubles within us, or certain tussles, or the push and pulls within us from time to time. And Shatabisha is all about reconciling or fixing all those internal conflicts which we have within us. And when we do that, only then we expand our consciousness, right? Only then the healing can come. And in order to do that, we need the help of Lord Rahu, who does not believe in any boundaries, who does not believe, and sometimes in order to heal ourselves, and sometimes in order to raise our consciousness, we need to come out from our bubble or the comfort zone which we all have around us. And Lord Rahu does his best, or do his best in order to do that, because only him can do that. And quite interestingly, Lord Saturn, who's the main ruler of the Aquarius sign, he's there to put a good tab on this female horse, or on this horse. So he's there to put a good tab as a horse tamer. So the another thing is the Shatabisha is again a healing consciousness, raising our healing consciousness, and that happens with the constant stimulation of mind, which happens in the sign of Aquarius. Because even if you see the symbology of Aquarius, it has the electronic magnetic sign, even in the sign in itself, which tells me, it gives the constant spark of the water element is there to heal us. So it is a constant stimulation of mind which happens in Shatabisha. So Shatabisha finds a healing ability to heal others, which is a big time in this nakshatra, but only then we can heal others when we are healed ourselves, when we ourselves are healed, right? Only then we can heal others. But we're going to talk more on this point on the later slide, because there is an interesting finding I have done on the Shatabisha natives. So I'll share my experience on that. So in a nutshell, again, Shatabisha is the expansion of higher consciousness, and how we can do that. Again, it was very interesting for me to observe. Exactly opposite to Aquarius is the sign of Leo, which is ruled by Sun, right? And Sun, we all know, is our ego. So by killing our ego, we can raise, only then we can raise our consciousness. Only then we will get to know of our true self, right? So by killing ego, we raise our consciousness, and with the help of Lord Varuna, with the help of Lord Saturn, which is exactly opposite to the Leo sign, with the help of the Lord Rahu, only with the help of all those, we can do that. So symbology, again, I have dedicated this slide on symbology again. Symbology is very important to decipher, again, any Shakti or any energy. So maybe some of you have already seen, this is the symbol of Ouroboros. So again, it can have various meaning. It can have, it is like the snake constantly eating its own ego, or its own inflated ego from time to time, and killing our own wishes and desires. And only then we can get to know of the internal truth within us. Only then we can raise our consciousness. Again, it can have various meanings. It can also mean zero, right? Because when we are born with nothing, and we get more conscious day by day, years by year. So again, it can have hundreds of meanings. So whatever works out with you to make you understand the energy behind this, it's fine with me. So Lord Varuna, he's ready. Just like I mentioned in the first slide, he's ready. He's deep inside us. All the deities, all the nakshatras, all the planetary energies deep inside us. But are we ready to take his nectar? Are we ready to take what Lord Varuna has to offer? So that's what we have to decide. So it's the constant cycle of false pride, or the inflated ego over the deflated ego. So only then we can get to know ourselves better. So in Hinduism, the symbols also means the Kundalani, the higher consciousness, because in other various texts or in different cultures, it can have different meanings. So I find this symbology very interesting. So what are the some of the traits associated with this nakshatra? Secrecy is a very big, prominent theme for this nakshatra. Not to sideline the Lord, the deity for this nakshatra is Lord Varuna, who is the Lord of deep oceans. That's where he resides. So just like that, and what lies beneath the ocean is unknown to all of us. So same goes with these natives. What lies inside them? Nobody knows their real emotions, their real motives. So wherever it falls into your chart, you can take the significations of the house, or you can take the significations of the planets, and you can make out. So some part of secrecy will always be there wherever the Aquarius is, or the Shatabisha is. Because again, Shatabisha is not on the surface level. It's not the shallow waters. It is just like I mentioned, the Lord Varuna is the Lord of the deep ocean. So what lies beneath their heart, nobody knows. So again, it can be used both in a good or in a bad way. Depends upon chart to chart, person to person. So they are naturally inclined towards healing. And here in Shatabisha, the healing happens more on the psychological side, where on the Ashwini, it happens more on the physical level. And I think I have already wrote an article on that a few months back. But healing is always there. And in my understanding, you don't need to be a certified doctor or a nurse in order to heal anyone. You can be anyone, or you can be a normal person with a Shatabisha placement in order to heal others. That's what I have seen. So the healing is always there. The healing aspect is always there. So again, on the higher octave, as the Aquarius sign also denotes the humanity, the humanitarians. So they always think of the welfare of all, the healing for all. That is their the main vision, the main motto for these natives. And again, one needs to understand the bases above, the bases below, in order to understand any nakshatra. And when we combine the bases above and bases below, then we get to know that how the energy is getting manifested or harnessed in particular nakshatra. So that's why it is very important. So they are drawn to isolation. That is a prominent theme I have seen, seclusion, because of the Saturn and the Rahu effect. Because of the Rahu, the aloofness is always there. Here I have written escapists. So yes, this is a very key theme. They are the escapist, and they are very good in escaping the situation. And again, this can be taken in many ways, again, wherever it is falling into the chart. So they are very good in escaping things. They are very good in escaping any circumstances, even in their own family. So suppose if someone is having Shatabisha happening in the second house, so in the family affairs, or whenever it comes to any matters related to wealth or money, again, both in good and in bad way, they know how to escape the situation. So very good escapist, because again, you have to understand the ruling planet for this nakshatra is Lord Rahu, and he knows how to escape. So especially in the pada 2 and 3, because the isolation is more seen in those padas, because it goes in the second navamsh, yes. The effect of pretense is big time in Shatabisha natives. Yes, they like to pretend, because Rahu, Lord Rahu, he likes to pretend, right? So sometimes what I have seen in the charts, that just like the ocean, that whatever lies beneath the ocean, nobody knows. So whatever the real situation is deep inside, again, depending upon the planet it is going in, that on the surface level, on the outer garb, they might look like someone else, but deep inside they might be someone else. And then again, it can be taken both in a good or in a bad way. Again, how the energy is channelizing in the chart, we have to look at that. So they like to pretend sometimes what they are not, that also they will also pretend. So they are naturally very good in pretense. And pretense comes again from many other circumstances which they have gone through. It can again be related to depression, or it can again be related to the conflicts or the internal fights they have within them. It can be because of many others, but healing is always there. This is a constant theme. Healing is always there. On a side note, again, I have seen, again, it all depends, just like I mentioned, what healing means to you can be different what healing means to any other third person. So what I have seen, that they themselves are struggling bad. They themselves are struggling with a lot of their internal issues in their life or in their family, but they still like to heal others. And they always say when they heal others, they always tell me while healing others, they always feel themselves healed. So that's why I said there is no universal meaning for healing for everyone. It depends from person to person. So the pretense is there, the pretend is there, but again, there has to be certain circumstances or many reasons behind that pretend or that pretense. So they are innovative. This Aquarius itself is a very innovative sign. So very innovative, very creative, oddball. Rahu is always he likes to do things in a different way, rebellious sometimes. He can be rebellious, strange, very eccentric and unconventional behavior. So the way of their doing things can be totally different from other nakshatras or other planets. So Shatabisha is that state, I can say that, or all the Rahu ruled nakshatra, they like to present their theme, especially in Shatabisha, in a very different manner. So the X factor is there. So if you have prominent energy in this nakshatra, do share your comments or observations with us so that we can learn from each other that their way of doing things, even a doctor or a psychologist or any healer, planets in Shatabisha, their way of doing healing or their way of doing things can be totally different or bit unconventional from the other healers. That's what I have seen in this nakshatra as well. Here I have taken the example of Ranveer Singh. We all know that the way he dresses up or the way he takes his roles is a bit different from the other actors. He has that X factor, the trend-setting image, he has that in him. Another example would be of Michael Jackson, who needs no introduction. The way like the king of pop, the way he did his music in his time is unimaginable, first of all, and unmatchable. Or the other example comes to my mind is Rihanna. Again, she needs no introduction. She has son in Shatabisha. The way she did the rap or she did the songs in her field is totally different from other rappers or the musicians. So they have that strange, unconventional way of doing the same things in a different manner, or the X factor or the trend setting image, they have that. So these are some of the traits. Astronomy, astrology, normal inclination towards the space is always there in these natives. But the healing is very prominent. The humanitarian part is very prominent in these natives. Always, always out there, even though they are in trouble, always out there to help others. This is their motto, to help others, heal others as best they can. So here I have taken a chart of one of my favorite actors, Robbie Williams. He was one of the best comedians we can ever have. And again, I will not discuss in depth about his charts. The purpose is not that. The purpose is to, in order to understand how the energy of Shatabisha was working in his chart. So he has Moon, which is the 10th Lord in Shatabisha, along with the ruling planet, which is Lord Rahu, going again in Shatabisha Nakshatra. So how the moon over, the Rahu over moon have a very strong grip on his mind. And so again, we can see the 10th Lord. And I think if I recall correctly, he had ascendant in Rahu ruled nakshatra again, which was Swati. So the energy of Rahu was very prominent in his chart, along with Moon and Rahu in Shatabisha, and that too very closely conjunct. And Sun Moon in a 6-8 relationship, which is not that ideal. But again, we will not get into that depth. So if you see the way he did, so Mercury is sitting in the 10th house and the 10th Lord is in Shatabisha, how he healed the millions and millions of masses by his mimicry, which is again Mercury theme, by his comedy. So he healed many millions, but he himself was going through a lot deep inside him with depression or with drug abuse, because this is another theme I have seen. Some part of their life, the depression is there. Addiction is, most of the times I have seen some kind of addiction is always there. So addictions related to, it can be related to alcoholism, it can be related to, it can also be related to electronic items, because electronics, Aquarius is a sign of electronics. So sometimes on the other day, I was seeing a native with prominent planet in Aquarius, and he's, funnily he said that I have the addiction of listening to the electronic music. And when I saw he had Moon and Shatabisha at the same time. So these are very interesting observations to do while you're doing the chart reading. So again, the 4th pada, which is again ruled by Jupiter, that's where the Mercury gets debilitated, which that's where we get the irrational thinking. And that is the same pada where Venus gets exalted. So he ruled the masses, like he healed the masses to so many hearts, but he himself was struggling so much that in the end he committed suicide. And here I wrote the noose of Varuna, because when we think of a noose, we only connect that noose of Lord Yama. But the second noose is in Lord Varuna's hand. And it's up to us, just like I mentioned earlier, to decide either to face the wrath of Lord Varuna by doing certain actions, or to accept the pot which is full of cosmic consciousness, of which is full of healing. So it totally depend upon us which one we have to go through, because Lord Varuna can be really can be a really worst or harsh punisher when it comes to that. But it's all about how we channelize any energy in our chart. And that's where I say that all these 27 nakshatras, which are very close to my heart, these are 27 portals, 27 energy portals, in order to connect with yourself, in order to connect connect with yourself in a deeper manner. So, but are we ready for it? That's my question. So I think this about it. Maybe in future, I will write more article on, I'm planning to write another article on Shatabisha as well, that how the energy of opposite nakshatras are working very prominently in Shatabisha. So I hope you like the video. Do not hesitate to give your observations, share your observations and your experiences if you have certain planet in this nakshatra. So do share with us so that we can learn together. So thank you all, and I'll see you again.